Good day everyone. So we talked about a month ago about Nilou's asynchronous Hydra application, and the implications of that is very interesting because the Rifthound skulls that you can see in the background don't really respond that well to non-geo attacks, but Nilou, surprisingly, or her little water ring, can actually take it out very quickly, much faster than most non-geo characters. And look at that, we did it very easily. And you might be wondering, well, what about Xingshu, the darling child of Fury crafting? Well, no, his Hydra application is not good enough. Yes, so passively he cannot do it, and of course, if you use his ability and Elemental Burst, sure, you can take down one Golden Wolf crown, but you won't be able to do 3, and Nilou can do all 3 very easily. So yeah, as you can see, it ticks about every 2.5 seconds for him, and of course for Barbara it's even worse. Even though she also has this little Hydra ring, her application ticks about every 3 seconds. So why does this happen? Well, basically there's an internal cooldown obviously at play here, but Nilou's works a bit differently. Basically, if you tag an enemy with Nilou's elemental skill, or like the little ring, and that enemy has a 2-second internal cooldown before Nilou herself can apply a Hydro again to that enemy. But when it comes to objects like these, Nilou is continuously ticking in the background, but Xingshu and Barbara have a set interval. Let me explain it by referencing that old video, so just watch this for a moment. Right, so about 1 month ago we talked about Nilou's asynchronous Hydra application, and I will let my past self explain it. So if you're interested, you can watch the full video, but I'll just take about 2 short clips from it. Important because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand this, and as you can see here, the moment we hit an enemy, we just tag them with kind of Hydra. This is what's so good about Nilou. Yeah, so that is the power of Nilou. There is no set tick interval, but this interval actually applies to Xingshu. So if we just quickly go forward to about 450 or 426 here, you'll hear me sort of explain this as well. Kind of cool. Now here's a little something that not a lot of people know about Xingshu. So you'll see here are my rain swords, and obviously I'm not going to hit an enemy, I'm going to apply a Hydra, but look at that. Despite the fact that we hit one enemy, we did not apply Hydro immediately onto all of the other enemies, even though we hugged them. So let's just see here, and as you can see here, nope, there's no Hydro, and finally there's the Hydro after. So as you guys can see very clearly, there is an internal cooldown that's applied to Xingshu and to Barbara, but Nilou does not have this internal cooldown. This is the one thing that I've argued so much for in the past, to say her Hydra application is not just useful in her Nilou Super Bloom teams, but you can also use her very effectively in Hyper Bloom or even in Burgeon teams, and a lot of people kind of dismissed it. They dismissed the fact that you could use her even potentially in Freeze teams, especially if you've got a C1. And I think once people start realizing exactly how her Hydra application works, they'll be very surprised as to how flexible it is, as opposed to like how all the other characters work. Think of it like with Kokomi's jellyfish. The jellyfish ticks every 2 seconds, and Nilou's ring almost ticks continuously. But unfortunately, the moment it does apply Hydro onto a certain enemy, that enemy itself will start triggering an internal cooldown to which Nilou's ring cannot apply Hydro again, but only after 2 seconds. And that is kind of the lowest internal cooldown that you can get, together with, of course, Bakekurage, in the entire game. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and I think that is just sort of what I wanted to share. Let me know what you think about Nilou's little superpower, this asynchronous Hydra application.